Hi, my name is Kevin Hallis, and I'm here to talk about technology. And by technology, I mean like the electronic devices that you guys all use or have used at least once in your life. My main claim is that the popular electronic devices that we use today are negatively affecting our health, like human health and mental state. So my first claim is technology or electronic devices are affecting our sleep. The reason being is we've become so addicted to these devices that we just can't get off them when we need to, and that really affects our sleep in the long run because we're losing sleep and we're sacrificing sleep just to use like maybe Facebook or play video games or what else, what have you. The blue tinted light that is emitted from the screens that you use, it runs in the 460 nanometer range in terms of light spectrum. When it hits your eye, it reacts with 30,000 cells located on your eye and sends signals to the brain telling it to turn off the production for melatonin, which is not a good thing because melatonin is the key to like the engine that starts sleep. It's what helps you sleep, what keeps you asleep, and it could disturb circadian rhythms. The physical act of responding to text or email or video game puts tension on your body, makes you become stressed, and when you're stressed, the adrenal gland produces a hormone called cortisol, which keeps you from sleeping, which also further prevents you from sleeping in the long run. All these problems, lack of sleep, researchers say that it also leads to other problems such as heart attacks, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and various cancers, but they're usually associated with severe sleeping disorders. Lack of sleep is also linked to mood swings and anxiety and depression, and increased risk of accidents, which could be bad because accidents are unpredictable, and you could sacrifice a certain amount of time for sleep and risk someone's life. Maybe like you wake up, you sacrifice sleep the night before, you have a 6-hour drive the next morning, you could crash because you're too tired, and you could risk someone else's life or your own life just because you wanted to look at your Facebook feed. My next claim is that technology affects vision and hearing negatively. Reason being, first thing I'm going to talk about is earbuds. Earbuds don't cancel out the sound, so when there is background noise and the user becomes annoyed with that background noise, he or she decides to turn up the music. This won't have an immediate effect on you or your hearing, but in the long run it will. It's estimated 12.5% of 6 to 9-year-olds and 17% of 20 to 69-year-olds have suffered permanent hearing damage due to excessive noise exposure. In terms of vision, the sporadic eye movements when you're watching videos or playing video games, mostly when you're playing video games just because there's so many things happening on the screen that it strains your eyes, and symptoms of eye strain are headaches, dry eyes, burning eyes, watery eyes, blurred vision. Since we use these things so much that it doesn't have immediate effects, just like I said, but if used enough, it could lead to glaucoma. Using screens in complete darkness is also bad for your eyes. Because you're focusing on the screen and nothing else, your eyes are adjusting to the light, which also causes eye strain. And to prevent it, you should light around your computer or TV to prevent damage. Next thing that affects is weight. Usually in children and adolescents, they don't get out enough, don't get active when they are playing video games or whatever. They could be outside getting sun and being active and exercise, which could lead to obesity. It's said by Florida Hospital website that children and adolescents should only have 1 to 2 hours of screen time a day. The American Academy of Pediatrics, or APP, has estimated the average child spends 7 hours on TV, internet usage, and video games a day. when they could be using that time for family time, reading, homework, and exercise. Humans are designed to stand upright, and when you're looking at your phone all day, or like 2 to 4 hours a day is on average, it actually puts more pressure on your head, around like 60 more pounds of pressure on your head. The average adult head weighs like 10 to 12 pounds, and because of physics, the gravitational pull, it's a lot more, which is hazardous to your posture. Good posture has found to elevate testosterone levels, serotonin, and reduces cortisol levels. The next claim is social media affects your mental state negatively. Reason being because you want to appear well to everybody, you want to appear well and be viewed well on social media, and people seem to compare their lives with others because they see a post that maybe they're like having fun or something, and the person looking at it is having a bad day. It'll have a negative effect on their mental state. It's said that 63% of Americans log into Facebook daily and 40% log in multiple times. Facebook makes us, or social media in general, makes us unhappy because we want recognition for the things that we post and the things that we like, pictures and like comments and stuff. And if we don't get that, it makes us feel like bad about ourselves and gives us less confidence. A study from University of Michigan, college-aged adults, finds that the more they use Facebook, the worse they felt. Social media is such an addiction to us because of dopamine and oxytocin, which are released while using these social medias. Dopamine is the pleasure chemical, and oxytocin is cuddle chemical, I guess you could say. When it's harder to resist tweeting, because of dopamine, it's harder to resist tweeting than resisting cigarettes or alcohol. In conclusion, using these technologies of these electronic devices has proven to reduce our sleep patterns and be detrimental to our health. It's kind of hard to veer past this just because everything's becoming so technologically advanced now. Everything's becoming more digital. So, and social media is not helping the matter at all either. It's giving our mental state and health negative effects.
Pardon me. Yeah. Oh, you gave me one. I'm good. And I gave out one already to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Kevin, the proposition's clearly identified. It sounds like you're laying out the contents, but basically you just kind of give us this general statement about human and mental health. And then it turns out that we've got at least 4 supporting points in the speech, so those ought to be previewed in a little bit more detail. The first issue is sleep, the second issue is vision and hearing, the third issue is weight, and the fourth is the negative impact that social media has. I suspect that you could probably have kept those first 3 and left out the last one or saved it for another argument and would have been perfectly fine. Since you're talking about the physical health issues, I think it would have been a little bit more focused. When you get the mental health issues, you're already in overtime, so that's, I think, a little bit problematic. In the body of the speech, the supporting points are structured and labeled pretty well, but there's a lot of claim being made and not always consistent citation of evidence. Almost everything on the sleep issue, for instance, has no citation of information. You've got some factual data about the amount, where the blue light is on the spectrum and about the number of cells that are affected and the relationship to melatonin, but I don't get any source site on it. Then there's also a claim about disease and mood swings and accidents, and again, there's no source, there's no quantification, there's no evidence there. It's just assertion at this point, so I think you need to put the information into the argument a little bit more. On the effect on hearing and vision, you were a little bit better off. You explained why the earbuds are ineffective at producing a problem because people turn them up to block out the ambient or background noise. But the only evidence that you have here is information about what percentage of the population has some kind of hearing problem. It's not very clearly linked to technology. That seems like it's mostly an assumption on your part. And like I said, there's no sources listed on the light issue that you've got here. You've got a whole bunch of stuff that talks about how people, reading in the dark or links to glaucoma and that sort of thing. And I don't hear any data that's being cited. I just hear or see claims being presented. The stuff that you did cite suggested that the kids have too much time on the computers, for instance, in technology. There's a recommendation that they should only have 1 to 2 hours a day, and then there's an estimate that they have probably up to 7 hours a day, including a variety of technology. So I thought that that was a pretty good way of indicating that there's a problem here. But quantifying that problem is a little bit harder to do. The idea that people are getting fatter, I think there are lots of explanations why kids might be developing obesity. Laying the blame at the foot of technology seems like it's underdeveloped here. And then you decide to go ahead and include the social media issue. And like I said, I think that that probably belongs in a separate topic here. But since you've got it included, oh, that was a loud notification. Since you've got it included here, I did think that it was helpful that you did provide some sourcing on this, and there was some statistical information on it. You do a nice job of presenting it. And like I said, you have excellent audience contact here, but you need to be more consistent in citing the information. All right, thank you.